welcome back everybody. Up next we have got Spyro Year of the Dragon 117%, done by Bombercash, and Dact will be helping out on commentary. And Bomber's gonna be running it maybe a little bit different than most people are used to seeing, but I'll let them get into that, so take it away, fellas.
Thank you. Yeah, so I'm not Bombercash, I'm not running the game, don't get confused. I'm just helping out with commentary. I'm Dact. I guess this is a long run, so we'll just get into it right away. There's no reason to delay anymore. So Bomber, if you are ready, you can start in, I guess I'll count down. You can start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And I'm just going to check on my end that it's actually started. Okay, I think my video feed is a little bit delayed. Let me just refresh it. Anyway, yes, this is Spyro 3 original on the PS1. 117 today. It's a long run, so I hope everyone's strapped in and comfy. Yeah, there's a lot to do. I'm gonna assume that people who are watching this have seen a Spyro speedrun before and have maybe played the game before, but I'm also going to explain everything from the start anyway, because it's like 3 hours and it's not like I'm gonna run out of time to explain stuff. So there's a lot of stuff to collect in this game. There's 2 types of collectibles. There's the dragon eggs, of which there are 150. They're collected in 1 of 3 different ways, either just lying on the ground, like that first one that we got. There's a bunch that you get for beating levels. The NPCs just give them to you. And then on top of that, there are a lot of them that you get from doing mini games and like side quests and extra challenges, which is one of the big differences between this and Spyro 2. It's a lot more mini games. Get the feeling they were running out of ways to make the game interesting without just adding tons of mini games. But yeah, next thing's fun. In addition to the eggs, there's also 20,000 gems to collect. They work the same as in every other Spyro game. They're just kind of sat on the ground and run near them and pick them up. Thankfully, we have sparks to help us with that. If we had to run through every single gem in the game, this would not be fun at all. Shoutouts to the masochists who run sparksless categories. Yeah, right from the start, we're in Sunnyvilla. This level, you're not I mean, you're supposed to do it first, but you're not supposed to like complete it first. There's stuff that you're supposed to unlock a side character first before you can complete this level. But we don't need to bother with that. We can just stand up on this little house here and enter a loading zone when we're not supposed to. There will be a lot of that in this run. This game's loading zones for like side areas are enormous and very often bleed out past the scenery, so you can enter them from behind or above or whatever else. So yeah, we get to the Sheila area. We haven't unlocked Sheila yet. We'll see her again a few times. And the first like side character area, I think these are officially called critters, but I don't really get that name. So just characters other than Spyro that you can control. That was a new thing added in Spyro 3. Sheila's movement it looks really simple, and it mostly is, but like her walking around movement is really simple. You just kind of walk, but the jumping is actually kind of there's a bit of tech involved. There's the air hop, as the game calls it, which is like a double jump, and then what the game calls a double jump, which is where you jump and then land and then jump again and you go really high. I don't know. Yeah, you'll see Bomber kick cancelling his jumps as well. If you kick as you're going up in a jump, your jump gets like cut short, which is just a way to optimize your jump so you're not like jumping higher than you need to. But the timing on it is kind of like, you can't just press the button when you want to stop. You need to press it a little bit before you want to stop going up. So Gotta learn the timing on those. I guess I'll point out as well the oh yeah, actually someone said they didn't had only seen the older Sheila skip. That's true. The old strat used to be to like glide all the way around the back of that area, and it was actually kind of risky because if you did that with the wrong camera position, you can crash the game. So this newer, it's a few years now, but newer way of getting in by just going on the top of the little hut is both faster and safer. Yeah, I guess I'll say I'll be watching the chat, so if anyone has any questions or anything to point out, feel free and I'll try and get to them. Other than what Jeremy just said, which I will not respond to. Yeah, just going through the kind of normal path through this level, there's the enormous chicken that you have to scare away, I guess. I don't even know what you do. You just kind of walk near it and it runs away. And that's the end of level egg. There's one of these in every level. The any % run kind of focuses on just getting these as quickly as possible because you don't really need to do anything else. But yeah, we still need to get them in 117, of course.
Hi, Spyro.
So we're like not very far in the run, and we already have everyone's favorite minigame in this game. The thing that everyone seems to remember from childhood. You get this in stream chats, not just in this game, but when you're playing Spyro 2, people will be like, "Oh, is this the one with the skateboarding?" No, this one is. For some reason, Hunter in this game is just like a psycho and hides the dragon eggs from you until you do these arbitrary challenges. So there will be a lot of things like this. There's four lots of skateboarding, four like skateboarding sections. The first two are like this in a skate park where you just kind of run around, collect gems, hit stuff. And then there's two skateboard races much later in the game. Sunnyvale skateboarding it's tough. Like it's tricky to do the optimal strats for. I was kind of doing it fine so far, but you have to go around this twice. The first and the lizards are in exactly the same place both times, so actually killing the lizards is identical. The only difference is that the second time, if you crash, you lose and have to start again. But obviously, the fact that we go around twice means we can route the gems so that you get some of them the first time and some of them the second time. Also, the angle at which you start, like if you just hold like left or down left going at the start of that skateboard challenge, the angle that you get is kind of random, and so sometimes you can really easily get those gems on the side and sometimes you can't. It's really annoying. Yeah, no issues with this. For some context, in case people watched the Spyro 2 run earlier and are wondering why this run is going to be like twice as long almost. People like the really good Spyro 2 runners finish the first level within like less than 3 minutes. Really good 117 runners finish the first level in just under 7 minutes. So that's the kind of for context why this game is so much longer. All the levels are just enormous compared to the previous games. So Cloud Spire is the next level. Oh, actually, I'll point out that spin jump was a good time to kind of mention something while I'm talking about Spyro 2. The movement and physics in this game are almost the same as in Spyro 2. There's some minor differences, but the big difference that you would have maybe noticed or already know about is that the double jump technique glitch doesn't work in this game. It was actually already removed in the Japanese release of Spyro 2, but it stayed removed in this game. Which means the movement ends up being quite different. Like it feels quite different. You have to make a lot more use of some of the like other techniques for getting to out of bounds areas and just other movement techniques, which are all just kind of obsoleted by double jumps in Spyro 2. So it's kind of interesting. Things like that spin jump up to that ledge. If this was Spyro 2, there would be no need for that. You would just double jump up there. So I'll try and point out the little bits of tech as they come up. But spin jump is basically just like stand facing away from a ledge and jump and turn as you go upwards, like as you get to the top of your jump. And Spyro's hitbox is weirdly shaped, so it just pushes you up onto the ledge. So Bomber's going for a tough route for these Sun Seeds. Getting that third to last hit is rough, and then that flame charge jump, which was perfect. Well done. If you miss that, you just don't, like, you have to go back and start the third Sun Seed again. And it's not super easy to hit. It's easy for your flame to get kind of eaten by the ledge there. So well done with that, Sun Seeds. This is one of my favorite levels in the whole game. It's like the second level you do, but in the speedrun, it's one of the best in my opinion. It doesn't have any like annoying mini games or slow stuff that you can't speed up, or like vehicles or anything like, or side like other characters. It's all just Spyro movement, and it's really fun. Don't know what strat we're gonna see for the bell towers here. Okay, just going around killing the spirits first, yeah. There's basically two ways of doing this. You can do what Bomber's doing now and kill all the spirits first, and then clear up everything afterwards. You can also get some of the gems during the spirits. It's risky and it only saves a couple of seconds, so no problem with skipping that. But then the thief snipe there, as long as you do the movement at the end of the like Superfly vaguely correctly, that thief will just be set up in that exact spot, and you can flame charge him as you get control back, and it's completely free. If you don't, you have to run around in a big circle and chase him and lose a lot of time. And when we leave this area, I don't know, people might have noticed, Bomber like jumped before he paused to exit that area. For some reason, if you do that, if you like pause and exit when you're going up in a jump, you get a little bit of like upwards momentum when you leave the area. And normally that doesn't matter, but in that particular area where you like leave it by falling down from above, it means you can glide earlier than you normally would be able to, and so you can glide up to a ledge on your way out of there. That's not supposed to be possible, and it skips. There's a money bags in this level that we skip. I don't remember what exactly it is we do that skips it. Probably a couple things, but you're supposed to pay money bags to like make some platforms go up and down. Another difference between this and Spyro 2 is that the enemies actually have gems, which affects like a lot of stuff. Like you might have noticed with the big Rhinoc that he killed, the winged Rhinoc up on the platform, like flames it and then does a charge jump to like catch the gem in midair before it falls down. There's a lot of that, and it can be tough because the enemy hitboxes don't disappear immediately a lot of the time, and so catching gems in midair can be tricky. Very nice cloud spice though. I guess maybe I can give a brief rundown of the story. I haven't watched the cutscenes in like years, so I don't remember everything. But basically, there's this sorceress who lives in these forgotten worlds, which used to have dragons in them, but now they don't. And apparently, when the dragons left, it like took all the magic away as well. And this sorceress kidnaps all the dragon eggs to try and bring the dragons back. But it turns out that, like she says at the start, that she's just trying to bring the magic back and the world's going to die if she doesn't or whatever. But it turns out that this character who is presented as the bad guy is actually a bad guy and is just trying to get them so that she can make herself immortal. Also, nice superfly jump there to get out of bounds. It's our first swim in air of the run. There will be a few of these. Water in this game, and in most Spyro games I think, isn't really an object. It's just a plane that you can dive through. And if you are charging as you go through that plane, you start swimming regardless of where you actually are. And so if you can hit it from out of bounds, you can swim in air. And yes, Rubisco, the gems that you get from moneybags at the end are based on the amount that you actually pay him. You can do 117 without paying moneybags at all. Most people don't. There are a couple of moneybags payments that are like kind of worth doing, or the alternative would be pretty tricky. So we'll probably see 1 or 2 moneybags payments, but you can skip all of the moneybags, and then if you do, you just like, when you get to the flaming him in Midnight Mountain, you just flame him once and the thing's over and he gives you the egg. Go back to Sheila again. Not too much to say about this level. It's like we're just escorting these goats to their homes. The goats do take a little while to walk, so we kill the enemies that are required to make them move, and then clean up stuff while they're moving, while the goats are moving, that is. So for example, with the second one, you kill the moose and the rhinoc there, and like clean up this stuff while Bobby, I think, is moving to his house. I don't know if it's Bobby or one of the others. I didn't even look at the text box when it came up, so I didn't find out if I was correct or not. So this last area is kind of a it's a bit of a RNG mess. Like the gems from these mushroom houses pop out semi-randomly, and then the actual rhinocs running around here move randomly as well. So it's not too bad, like if you know what you're doing, but trying to clean up this area efficiently takes some practice. You also want to kill all the rhinocs like earlier if possible, so that you have more time. Like you can clean up the gems while the goat is moving over to the house. But you still have this stuff to do at the back here, so even if you don't leave much, there's still kind of stuff to do. So yeah, just this last little secret area to clear out. There's a cool jump from where this head bash chest is. As long as you can catch all the gems from the head bash chest, or stomp chest, I guess, for Sheila, then you can just jump over to these last things. Otherwise, some of the gems fall on the ground. There's a few times through the run where we want to kind of catch gems from multi-gem containers like that before they actually pop out and land on the ground. It's one of the things you can do to optimize this category, is to get better at picking up gems from head bash chests and things like that. This rock makes no sense. If you miss the head bash the first time and then try to like stand on it and then head bash, your input will just get eaten most of the time and you won't get a head bash. So are we going to see a ball proxy here, I wonder? No, okay. There's a couple of different routes for Molten Crater. You can proxy off that bore at the start and kind of do the level backwards. it's not that much faster, and it kind of requires knowing 2 different routes for the level, because if you miss it, you just have to do it forwards anyway. So, understandable to not go for it. These spores are kind of annoying though, because they steal the camera. When they start charging towards you, the camera moves so that you can see them, but even if you don't want it to, even if you're not really like looking at them, it's maybe hard to notice when you're just watching it, but when you play this level, you really notice the camera is not always in your control. And now we get to have our second like non-Spyro character, Sergeant Bird. This guy is not unlocked until the next homeworld. This and a couple of other mini games later are supposed to be the kind of backtracking mechanic in this game, because this guy, the Sergeant Bird area, is not unlocked until the next homeworld, so you're supposed to have to come back, and there's one of those in each of the first 3 homeworlds. But as it happens, all 3 of them are not only is it possible to skip into all 3 of them, it's actually really easy to skip into all 3 of them. So they are some of the easiest like side area skips in the run, skipping the backtracks, which is nice because backtracking is slow. The Sergeant Bird controls are rough, and like, I'll just say Sergeant Bird was improved a lot in Reignited. The way he controls in the original game is not great. The method that Bomber is doing, that pretty much everyone does, is you hold both strafe buttons to kind of lock your direction, lock the direction you're facing, and then you can just use the D-pad or the keyboard as Bomber is doing to kind of move in space, go left, right, forward, back. If you don't hold both strafe buttons, then he'll like turn as you move, and it's really awkward. So trying to optimize your the direction you're facing as well as the direction you're moving in is tough. And then, especially now when Sparks doesn't have a huge range, getting these gems is not the easiest thing.
Well, that's...
Spyro!
And yeah, this is the first time we're paying money bags. That's one of the things that Ball Proxy does, is skips that money bag, so it saves a tiny bit of time in this level, but also saves time at the very end because of the reason I mentioned before, because of the way you can skip a flame on money bags. Also, yeah, just like angled flame to hit this thief. You go around in a kind of circle so that the thief moves backwards on that track and jumps up onto the cliff, and then flame and then quickly charge jump, and the flame angles upwards, and you can just about hit the thief from down at the bottom. It's a really cool strat. And then catch that guy as he's going around. I guess that's a good time to talk about flame charging, because that's what you need to do to get thieves easily. Something that's in all of the PS1 Spyro games to various extents is this supercharged strat, by the way, is very cool. I'll just point that out before I start going into flame charging. But when you charge through a basket or a barrel or something like that, the gem homes in on you. But if you just flame it, the gem does not home in. It just pops out and you have to pick it up. But if you flame it from a particular distance and charge immediately, the gem will home in as if you had charged through the object. And so you can use that mechanic to optimize your movement a lot. And also to hit thieves more quickly as well. We clear up this underwater section, and then yeah, Mushroom Speedway is next. So see our first speedway coming up. The speedways in this game are long, I've seen mixed opinions on whether people like them or not. I don't mind most of them, but they are very, very punishing to mess up. Oh, that flame charge on the basket before Mushroom Speedway was very cool. I haven't seen that before. So each of the speedways has 3 different challenges, I guess, 3 different eggs that you get. One of them is for a time trial, which is what one was doing first here. You just kind of... sorry, this is a race, this is not a time trial. First one's for the race, which is the longest and most punishing thing in all 4 of the speedways. You just race the NPCs through these rings. The blue stars make you go fast. Supercharging is also fast, so you want to kind of use that where you can. The rings are enormous, so even if it looks like you're going to miss it, like you're usually not if you just go vaguely near the ring. The strats for this race are actually really cool. They're scary. I'm not gonna lie, they are scary, but you can go very fast through this. Yeah, the way Sparks talks in the speedways is pretty cute. Agreed. Yeah, that supercharged jump around the mushroom at the start of the lap is scary. I don't even do that when I'm doing runs. It's been like a year since I've run this category, so apologies if I forget anything. Yeah, as long as you kind of follow the route and hit the rings, do some supercharging, then you'll win the race easily. It's just a case of can you actually like not crash and die? Can you go fast while not failing the challenge? Yeah, that's the first egg. Then we have the time trial, which works the same as the flights in Spyro 1 and the speedways in Spyro 2. There's like 8 of... Is it 8 or 10? Or there's some number of 4 different things that you have to either fly through or destroy. The routes we take are not the intended ones, but I mean, they're kind of... The intended routes are kind of a suggestion anyway. Like Sparks tells you if you go through his text, like, oh, the easiest way is to do this, then this, then this. But obviously, you kind of can do more optimal routes. And then the last thing we do in each speedway is the Hunter Challenge. Hunter is just chilling somewhere in each of the speedways and will give you something to do. If this is done well, this challenge is awesome. We'll see what we do here. Very nice. Just missed one at the start there. But yeah, you can catch all of the 7 UFOs very, very quickly. The one bomber missed there was not a big deal, so you could get it quite quickly. But yeah, they move in a fixed pattern, so as long as you know where they're going, you can just kind of practice how to do it. Also, you saw him pause and exit at the end of the speedway there. That's not possible on every version of the game. This is he's playing on the 1.0 version, the like black label release. And on this version is a bit faster for every category. I don't know how much time it saves overall in this, but it is faster. One of the things you can do is pause and exit out of the speedway when Sparks is flying across there. You don't actually have to talk to him again, which is why we'll always do the Hunter Challenge last for that little time save. So Seashell is an interesting level. Swimming is tough to optimize, basically, especially in these kind of areas with lots of gems all over the place. collected some gems through the wall at the start there. That was cool. Also, these shell enemies you have to hit twice, and you can't hit them too quickly after the first time as well. You have to delay a tiny bit. But yeah, trying to optimizing your movement in the water is rough, and also if you mess up and like don't hit something or miss a gem, turning around to redo something in the water is very, very slow. Are we going to see a proxy? Maybe? No, not quite. You can proxy off those shovel Rhinox up to the top ledge there, but if you don't, you just go up the normal way and it's not a big deal. Another spin jump here. It works the same way as the first one we saw. Spyro's hitbox is like higher at the back because of his tail, and so you jump while facing away from a ledge, and then when you get up to the top, you kind of move backwards or turn, or there's a few different ways to do it. But Spyro will kind of get pushed up onto the ledge, which he wouldn't have been able to get up on if he'd been facing forward. Spin jump is kind of a misnomer because it makes it sound like the height is gained from spinning when it's not, but it's a catchy name, so it stuck. Something interesting to note about this challenge, in other categories, like in 100 Egg, where this, I don't think this is even in the fastest 100 Egg route anymore, but in older routes it definitely was. This was always people always crash in this challenge. It's like a crash risk, but that doesn't really happen in 117 very much because it seems to be affected by how many gems are on the screen, and if you collect all or most of the gems, the crash doesn't seem to happen. At least not for me. Maybe for other people. I've also never had it crash on emulator, so that's probably not going to happen, yeah. Yeah, more water movement coming up, which, as I said, it's these Rhinox with the guns are on cycles, not on cycles, but they like start in one place and then move, and so you can kind of catch them as they're moving sometimes and hit them a bit earlier, or just wait until they get to their final position and hit them then. It doesn't really, just depends on how you're doing the movement. On this challenge, everyone who's played this as a kid probably remembers struggling with this. Even speedrunners will mess this up from time to time. The controls in this water tunnel are not the best. Oh, that was close, yeah. Nearly missed one there. Easy peasy. That guy says they're going to make their submarines egg-shaped in future because they have good aerodynamic characteristics, which is, I don't know, are submarines egg-shaped, maybe?
Pluto, what do you... Okay, good luck. Just remember, stay away from the sharp end.
This is Pluto. The strat for this fight is, I mean, it varies depending on how you do it, but basically you need to hit him once or twice at the very start, and then like collect some boxes of ammo and then sit on top of where another box is going to spawn. Ideally, I didn't quite get it there. Went too far back, I think. But if you can get the box to like spawn underneath you, then you can just hold circle and just keep spamming him until he dies. That was well backed up though. It's very easy to end up sparkless for this final section here if you take an extra hit on Pluto. Some people will just do this area sparkless. That's what I do. I practice that. Some people will death abuse. I think it comes out basically the same time. Because it's an easy fodder you can get when you leave this area. Then rescue this dude, free the like joyriders from jail. Clean up some last couple gems in the tunnel here and head on out. So that's well, it's not the end of Sunrise. There's one more level, but it's the last kind of normal level, and so it warps us to the balloon here. Wants us to go fight the boss, which we will do. And this first boss fight is interesting. It's really it's not. I'm not going to say it's easy, but it is the same every time. You can completely manipulate this boss's AI. He like rolls around the arena and chases after you, but he won't like roll off the edge of the arena. And so if you stand right at the edge of the arena, he will just stop rolling before he hits you, which is how you shorten the phases. And then you also see Bulma like turning the camera away from him. Normally Buzz does this fire attack where he like sneezes fire at you and then later puts up a firewall around him. He won't do that if he's off camera. So you literally just like stand there and turn the camera away, wait for him to stop moving and then charge, and he goes straight in the lava. So perfect execution on that. It is scary if you mess it up because you usually go into that fight with either green sparks max. Sometimes you'll have no sparks, and so it's kind of scary if you mess it up. But yeah, it usually just goes the same way like that. But we don't continue on to midday because there's another level to do. These sparks levels are unlocked when you beat the boss of that homeworld, and so we have to come back and clear each one out. There are mixed opinions on the Sparks levels. I like them more than I used to. I used to hate these, but as I've kind of got better at them, they are more enjoyable. That Out of Bounds is not the last time we'll be seeing an Out of Bounds in these Sparks levels. It's the last one in this one, but we'll be seeing some more of those later. You just kind of push up against the wall and tap strafe into the wall as well, and eventually Sparks will just like climb up the wall, and you can skip the entire tutorial that way. Do some other stuff in the later Sparks levels as well. But yeah, the idea of this one is Crawdad Farm. You just collect the coloured keys to unlock these doors. Do them in the right order. Pick up the gems. You have to actually run over the gems in the Sparks levels because you're Sparks. Like, you're the one who would have been collecting the gems in the normal levels. So who's gonna collect gems for you now? But thankfully the gems are enormous, so it's not a big deal. This rapid fire power-up that we've got, that is by far the best power-up. Like, none of the others even come close. And so we really want to have that, like, all the time. Anytime that we can get it, which can make deaths in these Sparks levels really punishing. Because if you die and there's no more, like, rapid fire power-up to get, you just cry because you are going to go through the rest of the level way slower. Also, if you accidentally pick up a different power-up, you get the same problem. You killed a crab there that drops a a different power-up, I don't remember which one. But if you accidentally pick up the power-up from it, you lose your rapid fire and things will be much slower. So the bosses in the Sparks levels basically all go the same. You just conserve your rapid fire going in and then just mow them down. They don't have invincibility frames, so you can just spam X or hold spam shoot or hold shoot and get right up close, and they will take damage every frame, and you just mow them down. If you don't have rapid fire, they're much slower. But the benefit of doing the Sparks levels, other than the fact that you have to for getting 117, they also give you abilities. All of the abilities that you learn in Spyro 2, you start with in this game, so swim, climb, med bash, you start with them. But you do get more abilities as you go through this game. They are for Sparks, though. The first one that we get from Crawdad Farm is just extended Sparks range, and so now Sparks will pick up gems from a fair bit further away than he did for the first homeworld, which is very useful. Going between Sunrise and then the rest of the game, there's a pretty major, pretty noticeable difference in how close you have to get to stuff to collect it. We'll get more of those as we go through the game. I think we're going to see bridge swim here, just based on the route. Yeah. So this swim in air works differently from the one that we saw in Sunrise. You're using the water the same, the intended part of the water, but you get it to push you through that little angle as you're starting the swim, and you just get out of bounds. There's not much more to say about it. It's tough to learn and can be inconsistent at times as well. A lot of people really don't like that trick. But you just kind of go under the bridge, jump forwards a few times, and time your swim correctly, and you end up out of bounds. Mama says it's free, yeah. Sometimes I will absolutely agree with that, and then other times I can't do it for 10 minutes, so... So yeah, now we have Tottenham Bird's base. This level, compared to the first bird section in Molten Crater, having extended Sparks range makes this so much better. Picking up gems with non-extended range in bird is really annoying, so having the extended range improves it a lot. But this is also a level where it's very easy to miss gems by accident, and we don't have any way to locate missed gems yet. We get that later on, and so it's really important to watch out for actually getting all the gems. Yeah, I was talking about bridge swim, Trickster. Yeah, this is a level that really kind of separates good runners from very good runners. It's having good bird movement takes a lot of practice. There are specific enemies that are necessary to kill to make the hummingbird progress. And so we intentionally don't kill... It was the second one on the ground back there. We intentionally don't kill that yet. We'll kill it later once we've cleared up most of this room. Yeah, this room has a lot of stuff, and a lot of the gems are right near ledges and have a chance to fall off them. Gems when they pop out of containers are a little bit random in how they... what direction they pop out in and how far they go. And since you can't make gems home in as bird, you're just at the mercy of gem RNG. Most of the time it's fine because Sparks has pretty good range and will pick everything up, but if a gem falls off a ledge when you're not expecting it, you can very easily miss it. There's 5 of these little hummingbirds in cages to pick up as well. But otherwise it's just gem collection and aiming missiles. The auto aim with bird is alright, it's not great. I think that's another thing they improved in Reignited, if I remember right. But now we're gonna kill this enemy, which is the one that makes the hummingbird move, and then clear up this area while we're waiting for it, and get this last cage, or fourth cage. And then we kind of clear everything out just as the cutscene triggers. So nice little optimization. Pick up some bombs here because we need to break a bombable floor and like strong chest back towards the start. There's a really rare thing that can happen there where you bomb the floor and the strong chest like breaks and falls through, the gems all fall down, but the floor doesn't break. I've had that happen once ever, and I've seen it happen to a couple of other people as well. But I think that's all the gems. I haven't been looking at the gem count, but I didn't notice any missed. Yeah, nice. So that and Enchanted Towers are the levels that are like scariest regarding gem collection. Gold Bird, nice. Yeah, that was really good. That was smooth. Oh, and he misses the thief. No. There's a setup to hit that guy where you just like run towards the tree and flame charge in a straight line, but missed it. And getting that thief if you don't get the setup is a pain because he is really good at just like juking you and turning around as you're trying to catch him. Oh, 34. I don't remember what my best seg is there. I should check. Apparently I have a 553. I don't know if that's from the same place though. Anyway, yeah, Spooky Swamp. There's a this level's pretty fun. There's some annoying enemies, like these flying guys steal your camera and can be easy to miss. You're supposed to light a bunch of lamps as you go through the level here. You don't need to. There's an out of bounds that we'll be seeing very shortly. In fact, right now, to get into the Sleepyhead mini-boss fight without actually lighting the stuff. I have to go a little bit left there to avoid the loading zone for the Sheila area, which we'll do later, but we don't want to hit that right away. And then this mini-boss is pretty straightforward. You just charge the bombs back at him and kill the crocs when they come up. In the past, people would like interrupt this spell to summon the crocs. They'd just like charge into him as he was doing it. And that was how it was done for years. And at some point, it was noted that that's actually slower. It's quicker to just like let him summon them and then kill them. Fun fact, if you don't kill the crocs and let him throw a bomb, don't hit it back, and then let him like wait even longer, he'll cast a different attack, which you never ever see in speedruns. It's like red and shoots fire at you.
This swamp.
So this challenge is kind of horrible. Blind Guys is what it's known as. You have to escort these fireflies through this like obstacle course while also collecting the gems, preferably as well. And it is a pain. Depending on how optimal you go for it, you can actually get all of the gems in the two like goes through with the escort. That is tough. I don't know if we're going to see an attempt at that. But even leaving some of them behind can still be easy to mess up, especially since the the chests that you stomp on will sometimes just not break, and a lot of the time you're like doing it a little bit blind as well because the camera is messed up here, so you might not be able to see exactly what you're doing. Yeah, okay, so leaving the top area there behind. Wait, no, actually, no, the one cycle strat gets that on the second go anyway. I don't know. I don't remember exactly how the strats look here. You need to be a bit careful as well because the rocks and the mushrooms will come back after a while as well. So you can't just like go through and clear out everything for the Firefly and then come back and collect gems while they're walking. It's not like the Alchemist challenge in Spyro 2, for example, where you can just kill everything at the start and then just chill and do anything while you're waiting. It doesn't work like that. There's some times where you have to intentionally go a bit slower and wait for stuff to be kind of synced up with where the Firefly's going to be. Oh yeah, so we are going to see the one cycle attempt here. Easy peasy. Well, one cycle. I guess it's 2 cycles because you have to go through twice for the actual challenge. Yeah, that was really, really good. Textbook blind guys. Yeah, I remember ages ago I mentioned the red attack in some conversation with other speedrunners, and none of them believed that it existed. None of them had ever seen it before. Something I should point out as well in this level, we skipped to moneybags. You don't even notice it. It's very, very easy to do. You just kind of jump through, like jump around, like through a little arch and to the end of level. You are supposed to pay moneybags to open a door, but it's... I don't know how they thought that was actually blocking anything. Oh yeah, he's down here, the moneybags. Easiest one to skip in the game. A little bit of trouble there. I accidentally got the fodder. It's something to note is that Sparks won't collect gems while he's eating a butterfly, and even if you're at full health, if you kill a fodder, Sparks will eat that butterfly. He's hungry, and so sometimes it's important to try and avoid hitting fodder to make sure that you actually collect gems optimally. But yeah, really solid Spooky Swamp. Really solid run so far, actually. This has been really good. Minus 48 on PB, good shit. That's really, really good. So Bamboo, there's a mystery jar in this level, which there's not very many. There's only what 2 in the whole game. But what that means is that we have to kind of try and do this level not backwards, but you want to get to the end as early as you feasibly can so that you can start the mystery jar. There is a proxy you can do to get up, like you proxy through from that boulder at the very start. Not in this route, which is fine, like the boulder proxy doesn't save much time. And again, same as with the ball proxy and Molten Crater, it kind of requires you to know 2 different routes, because if you fail it, you need to reroute completely. This swim in air is, I want to say it's the easiest swim in air, but I also fail it way too often to say that without like feeling like I'm lying. So you just kind of get to the edge there and press square, and you just swim off the edge and you get swim in air. And then you can get this NPC egg from through the ground, stay out of bounds. Pick up some stuff on the way to the Bentley area, which is the equivalent of that Sergeant Bird area in Molten Crater. You're supposed to unlock Bentley in the next home world and kind of backtrack to this, but again, you can get a really easy swim in there here and just go in from the back, so easy to skip that backtrack. Bentley is slow, as you can probably tell. He just walks and doesn't do much else. I don't mind the Bentley areas, like they're kind of a nice change of pace, I guess. The movement is just kind of chill. This game, it's long, or this category rather, is long and doesn't really have like breaks. There's a couple places where you're not really doing much for a while, but it's mostly kind of constantly doing stuff for the whole 3 hours or more. So it's nice to have stuff that is a little bit less intense. The Bentley's club is enormous, so you can hit things from quite far away. You can often hit like multiple things in one swing. Also, his being enormous makes it easier to kind of catch gems from strong chests as well. Alright, so now we get the mystery jar. So we basically just have to hit this and then follow it back through the level and keep hitting it. You can get these glides after you do each hit on the mystery jar. These are nice little time saves. Glide during the cutscenes. Or swim in that case. This is all just pretty standard gem and egg collecting. Not too much to say here, but we'll have another. Oh yeah, actually something there. That enemy that you just killed, the guy with the umbrella, he doesn't spawn until you've like been through that little room that you ducked into, and so you have to kind of go in here and then come back out to kill him. It's really kind of it just makes the route a little bit weird. And then yeah, that's the end of the mystery jar. It takes you right back to the start, but now that this bridge is up, you can go and get to the kind of extra challenge, the boat. Probably going to see some like shots into the sky here. You can so you kind of the aim here is to kill all the Rhinox, obviously, but there's a lot of them that aren't there at the start. They drop down from the sky a bit later on in the challenge after you've been around a lap already. But they are there even at the start. They're just like up in the sky, invisible. And so if you shoot at the right spots in the sky, you can hit them before they spawn. And if you do that well, you can kill... I think technically you can kill all of them, but realistically you can kind of get all but one. and you can skip some of these bridges. You can kind of end the challenge a bit earlier. Oh, well, you you scared me with that last fireball. Thought you were gonna hit the panda off. But yeah, there's supposed to be more of that. You're supposed to keep going around the river for a little while longer, and there's another like bridge where you snipe some more guys. But he'd already killed them earlier in the challenge. You can also skip the boat there entirely with a strat that is not TAS only. It's been done RTA by mostly by Nitroff, but it's very, very difficult. Yeah, cleaning up the homeworld stuff. The egg from the flower pots will just spawn in whichever flower pot you hit last, and so you just hit this one last so that you can go straight into Country Speedway afterwards. The best of the 4 speedways, IMO. So yeah, this works the same as the previous one. The flight speed gets a little bit faster from one speedway to the next, and so that's kind of cool, I guess. But otherwise, it's just like the mechanics are all the same. You just go through the rings, try and supercharge as much as you can, hit as many blue stars as you can, cut corners as much as you can. This level does have a very cool, like, individual level strat for the time trial that, like, not many people have managed to pull off. It's like the only interesting thing I can think of to talk about right now. But yeah, the kind of the route that you're going to see Bomber do, and which basically everyone, well, yeah, I think everyone does in full game runs, is already kind of pretty out of order from what you expect. But the if you're interested, go to the speedrun.com page and find the like individual level leaderboards and look up the time trial record for this level. That route is insane. Also, another 1.0 thing I should be mentioning the differences there. The music is different in 1.0 compared to the like 1.1 Greatest Hits release. And one of the differences is that there's only one speedway track in the original in 1.0. Just all of the speedways have what becomes the Harbour Speedway music. There's a bunch of other levels that have different tracks as well. They're like repeat tracks that for stuff that hadn't been finished yet, I guess, or wasn't added yet. Most of the levels in Midnight Mountain have repeat tracks. Oh, let me grab you the thing I was talking about. Level leaderboard.
Spyro,
There we go.
look out!
And yeah, the hunter challenge in this level is certainly the low point. It's a complete auto scroller, and on 1.0 the sound effects don't work properly either. They on later on the 1.1 version, you can hear the cows and the UFOs and stuff die from from wherever, and so you get these funny sound effects. But in 1.0, it's proximity based, and most of the stuff that you kill in this challenge is really far away from you, and so you just don't hear it. And so this ends up being just the music, which is a shame. Yeah, auto aim kind of mostly works on the shots that you're firing. You don't have to be particularly you don't have to aim particularly hard to hit the stuff. I'm actually not sure if hitting the last guy sooner ends the challenge earlier or not.
We got
Or if it just always ends at the same time if you hit everything. And again, pause exit to save some time there. So next up we have Enchanted Towers. I mentioned earlier that Bird was one of the... Bird's Base was one of the levels that's most scary for missing gems. This is the other one. This level is enormous, and you do it as both Spyro and Sergeant Bird. And some of the enemies are just kind of annoying. Their gems are not super predictable. Worst Speedway? Nah. Nah. Honey is by far the worst. Yeah, these big Rhinox with the hammers, you can't really avoid the hammer the first, you have to kind of... I mean, you can avoid the hammer, but a lot of the time the best way ends up being, get somewhat close to them to trigger them, and then hit them, coming back towards them. Angled flames to kill those green guys. You're supposed to pick up rocks to hit them, or kill them with Sergeant Bird later, but the angled flame hits them nicely. Yeah, that is true. The Honey Speedway music is great, but it doesn't exist on this version, so rip. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the audio warning. I don't have... I have the game sound turned down really low, because I'm watching the stream on my phone, and so if I had it, loud, it would be coming through my mic. So apologies for forgetting about that if anyone had their ears blown out. Yeah, same. I don't really think about it. Yeah, so this is the second skateboarding. First off, we have this trick tutorial where Hunter explains how to do all the stuff. There's a few ways to speed this up. You can do jump early on ramps and try and hit the ground more quickly. But then after this is done, we will get a freestyle battle, I guess, way to get the most points. And it's the only time in the run really where we can just have an extended break, because unlike in Reignited where you can just end it early, you have to sit through the whole 3 minutes. I don't remember the timer. The whole time, regardless of what you've done. So you just kind of collect all the gems, get enough points to win, and then just sit there and either mess around or just go get a drink or whatever. There is no way to speed up the skateboard challenge, the actual competition.
wow. I'm thinking you're...
Yeah, I was so mad when I found out that you could finish this early on Reignited. Why can't we do that? But yeah, Hunter doesn't get very many points, and there's some tricks you can do that get a lot of points in one go, and so you just do a couple of those, and you end up getting the like half pipe leap and the triple towers just passively from getting all the gems as well. So it doesn't take much to get enough points to win every time. Yeah, so you see that nasty Nork got 2,500. He did an extra couple flips, because why not? But even after just the like backflip and the diagonal flip, it's like 2,500 points immediately. So very, very easy to win this. Nah, the skill points don't really add much. You get some of them just in the run anyway, but like they don't give you percentage and they don't really add much to the run. So I think some people have done like all skill point. I mean, all skill points is actually a category that people have done, not with 117%, but just like get all the skill points. That's a thing. But 117 plus skill points is not really. But yeah, now we just wait for 30 seconds while Hunter goes around and futilely tries to get enough points. That Italian gamer fuel.
I can't...
Oh, does he get less points? I didn't know that. I only played Reignited once. I played through it when it came out on PC. And I've watched some runs, but not very much, so my knowledge on that game is not great. So we get a rock here to hit this balloon. The alternative is to head bash it, but then you end up back on that lower level, and you kind of don't want to be down there yet. There's more stuff to get at the top, so hitting it with the rock kind of is better. I love that guy, he always recoils in the direction he's facing, and so if you hit him from behind, he just like recoils into you and you bonk on him. Also, this dude goes invisible for some reason. Don't question it. Yeah, bunch of angled flames to kill these guys. Doing those consistently can be a little tricky. They're a lot easier in Spyro 2. You can basically just like mash into the controller with your thumb and you'll get an angled flame because double jump is a thing. But in this game you actually have to like hit the inputs in the right order. Flame, then charge, then jump. And another one here to hit this button. This challenge, you're supposed to like guide Farley, the dog, or is he a wolf, I think, through this whole area and get him to hit buttons for you. But we can skip all that. Easy angled flame on the first one, and then this one we can literally just like jump and glide and flame and hit it. Interesting thing about that one is if you do like a really optimal jump and glide, you're less likely to hit the button with the flame. You have to like jump and then like wait longer than you normally would, like past the peak of your jump before you glide, and you'll get a better hover.
Hey!
So now we get the only time in the game where we get to play the same area as two different characters,
It's good to be back
which
in
is really cool. They should have done this more. It was a neat idea. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff that's like up in the air. These green guys that are like way off the stage that we have to kill with bird. And their gems behave strangely. I don't fully understand it, but like if you're not looking at them when they die, oftentimes the gem will not home in. And then if you're too far away, even if you are looking at them, sometimes they won't home in either. So it's very common, especially when you're newer, to end this level missing like 2 gems or 4 gems. And again, we don't have any way to like locate missed gems yet. So if that does happen, you kind of just have to fly around and wait for like go near where all the enemies died and wait for it to suddenly appear out of nowhere. Those 2 red gems are in the same place for some reason. They just sat on top of each other. They just ran out of spots to put gems.
here. My friend.
Yeah, that's 500. Good stuff. Yeah. And then we end with what I think is intended to be the first level you do in midday, but doesn't really matter. Icy Peak. I think it's the first in the guidebook, so. Get used to skating on the icy floor before we go in, because there's going to be a lot of that. I respect that opinion, Bomber, but Icy is good in 117. This is another level that's kind of renowned for crashing, but I don't think that really happens on emulator, so not really a concern. Yeah, this is definitely not my favorite, but I can respect that. Dealing with these, oh, that head bash. Dealing with these, like, TNT guys is a pain. They, like, you kind of want to aggro them so that they run towards you, but you don't want them to actually hit you, because then you take damage and get blown off course and all this. So you want to kind of aggro them and then let them run into the hole on the ground, but obviously you failed the head bash and so there was no hole, and so they just ran all the way towards him. No need to do a shot to break that last ice wall because we can just use the TNT. Nice stair skip. Tiny little wall glide there to skip one of the steps. I just find that this level has way too much, like, back and forth awkward movement. Like, it's good because it's like a skill test, I guess, but it does feel kind of, it always feels like my movement's never very good. Also, that guy just hits you. He doesn't care. Even if you flame really early, he'll just hit you sometimes. So these two birds are the crash point on console. Like if you hit these two soon after each other, then it can just break the game. And then this challenge here, this is one of the two I mentioned like way earlier in the run that it's possible to skip all of the money bags payments. This is one of the ones that we just kind of almost everyone pays money bags here because the skip into this area is kind of tricky and it makes the route completely different and it doesn't really save much time, so most people don't bother with it. These guys always come out on the same cycle, or the same pattern rather. So as long as you know what's coming, you can just kind of chill and wait for them to appear. Also, the noise these guys make when they die is hilarious. No, we've got actual hockey later. There is an actual hockey minigame, which I don't know. Is it better? I don't know whether I like it more than the one in Spyro 2 or not actually, but this is more like Turtle Soup if I had to compare it to a Spyro 2 minigame. Oh, it does crash on Emu as well. Okay, I didn't know that. I haven't played this on emulator in a long time, so. And there are like other crashes that don't happen on emulator, so sorry for misinformation.
By the way,
These thieves are funny. You're supposed to do the yellow one and then the red one, but if you get the red one first, it kind of breaks the yellow one. He doesn't really know what he's doing. So we're gonna kill this red one, just that's set up on the pedestal, and then just watch. Yeah, like you just stand there, flame, and then like tap a camera button, and the guy will respawn right in front of you, and the flame that you just shot will hit him, and he dies instantly. Yeah, I don't know why that happens, but it makes it really free to get those thieves, because you can get the first one while he hasn't even moved yet, or the red one rather, and then the yellow one just freaks out. There's an alternative strat where you get both thieves at the same time, which is kind of RNG based because it requires the yellow guy to like move in the right way. But oh, that's a shame. You have to do the wall guide flop to get back up. This is a strat that is like 100 egg runner. Oh, okay, just go for it once. Yeah, I understand that. It's a strat that 100 egg runners practice a lot. Oh wait, did that? Oh, missed a gem from that guy. Okay. But yeah, the jump up onto that this like where this whirlwind is, it's something that's done in 100 egg runs, and 100 egg runners will practice it a lot because it's hard, but it's not usually necessary in this category. So. So yeah, that's everything, everything except the Sparks level in midday. So we've got our second boss, Spike. This guy, the fight's pretty like normal. There's not too much to say about how this one works. There's 3 phases. You hit him with rocks in the first phase, and then there's these like flame power-ups in the second phase, and then some projectiles in the third phase. It's all random how they spawn. The rocks, if you can, you kind of want to hit him with 4 rocks in the first phase rather than 3. But it really just depends on how they spawn. Sometimes, yeah, like that one was kind of far away. It would have been tough to do. But it's possible to hit him with 4. Oh, what happened there? Oh, I guess I don't know what happened to kind of delete that power up. Something about the power-ups, the bird drops, he only spawns them when he's off camera, and so you want to like keep bird off camera as much as you can, but then you also need to see where the things are spawning, and so you need to actually see like the arena to find the projectiles, but then you need to keep bird off camera to spawn new ones. Yeah, other than that problem with one of the red power-ups, that was mostly okay. Yeah, I know, they only spawn when he's not on camera. It's like such a like backwards from everything else in the game that like, oh, it only happens when it's on screen. I noticed that doesn't work like that in SRT when I was watching the run earlier. They just like spawn on a set cycle in that game, but yeah, not so much here.
Hi, Spot.
So second Sparks level, going in on no health is kind of a shame, but we'll be able to manage. Get our rapid fire and hopefully keep it through the whole thing. There is another one later, but I want to conserve it as much as we need to. And then this invincibility we want to do as much as we can with as well. They are quite limited, but they save a lot of time in being able to kind of break stuff instantly and just like mow down all the enemies nearby. There are a lot of little enemies in this level, so being able to kill a lot of them is very useful. Also something to do with the rapid fire here. If you just hold the shoot button, it'll kind of go off in this big arc that goes back and forth, like sweeps back and forth. But instead, if you just mash the shoot button, or not necessarily mash, but just like hit it in like quick rhythm, they'll all shoot forwards, because the arc that he normally sweeps in starts at the front. So you just kind of repeat that over and over and get the more shots hitting the thing in front of you. Oh, and I completely forgot to mention the out of bounds earlier as well. Kind of that one works a bit differently from the others, where you have to get hit by an enemy to make it work, or not hit by an enemy, but you need to use an enemy to make it work. There's an enemy like right next to the wall. Kind of get up next to it and strafe into the wall, and it pushes you up. Yeah, a little bit low on rapid fire, but should be fine. This boss goes down pretty quickly. Yeah. Trying to kill that guy without the power-up is horrible. He has these long phases where you can't hit him, and yeah, it just takes a long, long time. But yeah, from that one we get the Sparks Finder, which is the ability that you always have in Spyro 2, where if you hold all the shoulder buttons, sparks will point to the nearest gem. In theory, it doesn't matter for speedrunning. In practice, it's very nice to have, because like sometimes you will miss gems, and sometimes you'll be like unsure whether you actually got everything, and so being able to just hit the shoulder buttons and check that you have everything in the area is very convenient. Yeah, this run's been really solid so far.
Listen.
And gem misses from here on are usually less of a big deal. Usually. So back into another speedway. This one's the longest by quite a lot. The race in this level goes for a long time. Time trial first. There's a bunch of different routes for this time trial. I don't know what Homer does. Oh, I think this is basically the same as what I do. Okay. Yeah, the fastest route for this level, for this time trial, is pretty hard. Yeah, you can hit those beehives from the bottom if you like fly right underneath them. Yeah, you don't actually have to fly through them. And then these flowers are a bit finicky. Some of the petals are solid and some of them are not, and it varies from flower to flower which ones are solid, so you just have to memorize which way to go. Also, something he's done on all of the time trials so far, as soon as you get the last gem, you can just like pause and give up, and it'll count as having completed the speedway. It's a fair bit faster than just waiting for it to finish by itself, so we'll always do that. The pause menus in this game are very, very fast. As far as I know, they take inputs every frame, so you can literally go like start up X on consecutive frames and it will work, which is much better than Spyro 2 especially, but even Spyro 1's menus aren't that good. So yeah, that's why we'll also always see pause menu exits from any side areas, from every level. Even if the portal to exit is right next to you, it's always going to be faster to exit from the pause menu. Yeah, you really do get spoiled by the menus in this game. And then you play Spyro 2 and literally have to like learn the timing for when you can actually press buttons after you pause. Yeah, standard Speedway stuff, just go through the rings, get as many stars as you can for speed ups. This one's not too hard, it's just really long. In fact, this whole homeworld is kind of full of long levels. There's Lost Fleet is the longest level in the game. Fireworks Factory is long. This is where I feel like when people do 117 runs without having like learned the game properly, like without having learned routes well, this is where everyone gets really sick of it. It's definitely the case when I was doing it, like before I learned the game properly. Sunrise and midday are alright. They kind of things are kind of like the levels are not too complicated. They're pretty clear what you have to do. And then you get to evening and it's just like, oh my god, these levels are enormous and there's so many like different parts and the mini games are really long and yeah. It's not that they're bad levels, they just you need to actually learn them before they get fun.
Look out, Spyro.
And then Hunter Challenge here, we're escaping from this UFO. There's some strats here where you can speed it up by intentionally taking hits. You can only get hit so many times before you get abducted and lose the challenge. But you can kind of take some intentional hits and it gets the UFO like closer to you. And you can even get it to like move in front of you. It's pretty cool. But even doing that perfectly barely saves any time over the just normally avoiding everything, so no big deal. Also, something in the route is people sometimes forget about. After you've done, I think it's 2 levels in this homeworld, Hunter gets abducted by the Sorceress. There's like a cutscene that plays. And he doesn't come back until you've beaten Spike. And so you have to make sure you do Honey Speedway and what's the other level that has a hunter in it? Lost Fleet. Honey Speedway and Lost Fleet before that cutscene happens. Otherwise, he just isn't there and you can't do the challenges.
Spyro.
I don't know. It's something that I like forgot about and then tried to back up once in a like blind run, I think, or like an unrouted run, and Hunter just wasn't there in Honey Speedway. I don't remember, but yeah, there's a cutscene, and if you try and go to Honey Speedway or to the skateboarding challenge in Lost Fleet when Hunter's not there, it'll just be like a sign from the Sorceress saying that he's been abducted. Yeah, there was a hole in the wall that Bomber went through that I didn't mention. I was too busy talking about random story stuff. Yeah, that shout out to Toogle for that. The old strat, which is really old at this point, the much older strat for skipping the money bags in this level was very, very hard. Like, I don't know how many people have actually practiced that recently, but doing the like jump around the little fallen towers. I don't know, there's a jump on some scenery that you can do instead, but it's much, much harder. So the Jack and the Beanstalk challenge, it's a big puzzle with these seeds. We can skip most of it. You can do these boosted jumps off the seeds and off the mushrooms, and even without the boosted jumps, you can still kind of make it to a lot of the platforms without actually like doing the puzzle, because you can spin jump up onto these mushrooms as well. The mushroom spin jumps are kind of tricky to get good at, but first one there was very good.
You've been doing great.
I saw in the SRT run earlier that you can just like jump and glide, like just hover up onto the mushrooms, and I was very jealous because the spin jumps are quite annoying. Well, well executed by Bomber there. No issues with the spin jumps. This floor that we're about to head bash can sometimes just not break. It did there, thankfully, but on 1.0 sometimes it just doesn't break and you have to go around the other way to get to this room, which is really random, but it happens. Yeah, just clean up this this room. There's just a bunch of fireworks, like rocket bottles that you have to break. Again, unlike in SRT, if you charge through like fireworks chests or rocket bottles in the PS1 games, the gems do not home in, so you have to wait for them. It's still often worth it to charge these things because it just makes them break more quickly, but when you have like 6 of them in one room like you do there, you've got plenty of time to kill waiting for them. And then we have Cat Witches, which is a really cool challenge, I reckon. You're supposed to like go around this big room and kill the cats, but you can actually just snipe them all as they come out of their hole, and it's really neat. I don't know. I just like this strat a lot. You just kind of chill here and time your shots, and they just all die.
So?
Only the first one is actually kind of tricky. There's a good visual cue for it that I use. I don't know if everyone does the same thing. But once you get close to the hole like this, the timing window to kill them is very lenient.
I must.
Also, fun fact, it's possible to get into this area as Spyro, which is something that will be relevant later, that you can get into side areas as Spyro. But, or actually will it? I maybe it won't. But it's possible to get into this area as Spyro, but if you touch that, like, electric floor as Spyro, the game just crashes, so you can't complete the challenge. I use the super flame here to do the mystery jar. This is the only other one on top of that one in bamboo. Nice double. That camera is awesome. You just hit both mystery jars in one go, and the camera just freaks out. You've got to be careful there as well, not to be too far away from the second mystery jar hit. Or at least, like, if you are too far away when you hit it, you need to like jump so that you're closer to it. Because it's possible for the mystery jar to move, but the gems to not move if you're too far away from it. And so you get to this last instance and hit it, and the gems just don't appear. And you have to run back and get close to that second one for them to appear. But no issues there. I don't even remember what level's next. There's like different routes for evening. Like I do Charmed before Honey and then go to Lost Fleet, I think, which I presume is what's next. That's a whale, no. Yeah, Lost Fleet next. So this is the longest level in the game by quite a bit, I think. It's not particularly close. The level itself is pretty big, and then there's some very long mini games as well.
Be careful.
No, I think this level's longer than SBR. In fact, yeah, it's a lot longer than SBR. This level's like 10 minutes plus. What's the SBR segment? Like, my best in Lost Fleet is 11:50, and SBR is like 6 minutes. I've got a 5:58. So yeah, it's like twice as long as SBR nearly. Not that my bests are particularly optimized, but still, it's an idea of how much longer it is. SBR is super bonus round. It's the last level. It's like the bonus level where you get the extra 17%. This level is long because of the skateboard race and subs, and the level itself just being pretty long as well. Hitting these vultures with the cannon can suck. Like, the depth perception is annoying because the unlike in Icy Peak, the cannon shots don't go in a straight line. They like arc through the air. And so if you're not, like, if you don't have them pointed up at the right angle, your shot will just like go straight over them or like in front of them.
Would you look?
Somehow this egg has been like in a box at the bottom of the sea for God knows how long, and still is like hatches immediately when you find it. Yeah, there's an invincibility power up that you need to swim in this stuff. You can actually get swim in air in this level. It's not used in the route, but it is possible. But you still need to keep the invincibility power up. Even if you're not like in acid, just swimming without the invincibility in this game will just instantly kill you. So even if you're swimming in air, you'll just die if you run out of power up. Yeah, this is the skateboard race. You have to do this twice. So the first time you just need to win against the Rhinox, and this is where we collect most of the gems. The Rhinox are not very fast, and so you can very easily beat them. But then the second time through, we're racing Hunter, and he's a lot faster, and we have to kill all the crabs along the way as well. So try and get most of the gems on this first time through. So the way the skateboard race works, or the way the boost works, I should say, is you do tricks, similarly to the tricks you would do in the skate park and in Johnny Towers that get you points, but here they give you boost instead. And some of the tricks, like the one that Bomb was doing, the nasty Nork with the backflip plus the diagonal flip, gets you a shit ton of boost all in one go. Like, it basically fills up your entire boost bar, and so it's really easy to just keep boost like all the way through. Especially if you get some of these blue stars as well, because that gives you, it like boosts you without actually consuming your boost bar.
Yeah.
And so yeah, you just kind of map out your route so that you're like collecting all the gems, but also like able to do enough tricks to keep your boost as well. So yeah, second time through we're racing Hunter. Hunter will often kill a lot of the crabs that we miss, and so it's a little bit luck-based as to how much we actually have to go out of our way to kill the crabs. But it's not a big deal. Yo, what's up, Dale? Oh yeah, sometimes you try and do an Ussie Nork and it just like doesn't recognize it properly, which is why you didn't get the boost that you'd normally get there. Had to slow down a bit, otherwise you would have run out. Yeah, we get the last crab in. Oh no, that one's already gone. It's a different crab that's we're still waiting for. Crabs are truly the ultimate life form.
She.
And now we have even more crabs to deal with. There's many of them up here. They're weird because they like aggro you, but like usually they'll run towards you when you get close to them. And sometimes they don't for some reason, and you have to kind of run back and get them. But you can usually kind of just get close to them, and they'll run to you, which is nice. And now more killing vultures with the cannons once we've cleared up these gems. One of the ones that we'll kill here is, in my opinion, the worst one. The one that he's going for right now. It's like I don't know how you're supposed to have the depth perception to kill that guy consistently. Oh, did he actually get it? I didn't even notice. I was like, wow, that was some quick vultures. Holy crap. And now we have yet another really long minigame. Subs is yeah, I mean it's kind of it's consistent if you do it the same every time, but doing it the same every time is much easier said than done. And so usually you can know where the first couple are going to be often, but then at that point you just kind of have to find them and chase them down. Getting no scopes is nice, but pretty difficult. So usually you're gonna be sitting and waiting for the things to home in. There's another set of subs later, like in Super Bonus Round actually, where oh, nice no scope. That was from quite far away. Yeah, where the no scopes are much easier, but the Lost Fleet ones are more difficult. And then yeah, we get 6, and then have to go back in again and get some more. These ones will drop mines. There is a strat here where you get the very first one to hit itself with a mine. I don't know if we'll see that. But just don't get hit, because you have to restart it if you do that. Yeah, nice, the suicide sub. You just like hold X at the right time, and is it X, the go faster button? I don't even remember what it is in this challenge. I haven't played this in a while. But yeah, you just hold the boost button at the right time and go towards it, and it just kills itself. Nice, that was sick. Oh my god. That's probably better than any subs I've ever done. And then, yeah, a bunch of gems to clear out here. You can get all these in 2 goes with the invincibility. It's fairly tight, but not too unrealistic. Yeah, I know some people have done Spyro 1 demo runs, but I haven't seen them for any of the other games. Yeah, you can just about get all these gems on the top before the invincibility runs out. If you don't, you just die, but yeah, that was no problem. 11:37, damn, that is considerably better than my best. Our home mod routes are a bit different. I don't know if you do more or less in the home mod, but... Yeah, now just clear up a bunch of the home world eggs, and heading into Bentley should be next. Oh, that's not a particularly bad fall actually. You can just kind of climb up here and glide across to the thing anyway. But yeah, Bentley, just like all the other, so I haven't even mentioned the side character levels like Sheila's Alp and Bird's Base and this one. You're supposed to need a whole bunch of gems to get in there. I was watching the Spyro 3 NE, like the SRT 3 NE run earlier, and they was talking about how the Bentley, Bentley's like the main reason you need so many gems in that run. We don't need any gems in this run, and that includes from this because you can just glide in from out of bounds. The way portals work in this game when they're not unlocked yet is that they're just stored underneath the level. Just kind of directly below where they are going to be. And so if you can get out of bounds and glide through them or swim in air to get through them when they're like in the out of bounds position, you can just go into the level without unlocking it. And we do that for all the side character area levels, and means we don't need any gems. I mean that plus all the other money bags that we skip. Obviously, in this category, we need all the gems because it's 117%, but if we're talking a run that doesn't require getting all the gems, we don't need any gems. Also, yeah, Ty, I think I know which gem you mean, but no, it wasn't this. And hello, Ty. In this category, you actually can't hit Honey Speedway because Honey Speedway is unlocked. You have enough eggs for it, so it's not in the bottom area. It's actually in its proper position. So it's like the out of bounds into Bentley. You can just take a straight line in this category. But yeah, in 100 egg or any percent, yes, you do have to avoid the Honey Speedway portal. Yeah, same deal as with the Bentley area in Bamboo earlier, just kind of walk around and collect stuff. That jump between the 2 boxes is like unreasonably tight for a jump that's completely intended. Like, people miss that in runs sometimes.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, making use of the enormous club to hit multiple baskets at once. You can kind of skip one of the levels of these totem poles by jumping and then smashing and hit the strong chest when it's still up in the air. Yeah, he's weighed down by his club, so he can't jump as high. And then you want to try and catch all these gems in the air before they fall down. You can still just go down and get them afterwards if you miss them, but ideally you just want to catch them more so you can leave straight away. And yeah, if you don't unlock the level, you end up just gliding straight out through Bentley's face there, which is always amusing. The fireworks is another really long level. This was one of the hardest levels to like learn properly for me, at least. The layout of the main area is kind of confusing, and the gems are in like not linear at all. They're just kind of spread out a lot. And the some of the enemies can be a little bit random in their movement as well. Yeah, the gem collecting in this. Oh, did that miss? Oh no, it didn't. Okay, that looked like it was gonna miss. Thankfully the rockets kind of auto aim quite well. But yeah, the rockets are very important for the like route, I guess, in this game, in this level. You need them to break strong chests and to kill these guys as well. Well, I mean, you don't need them to kill these guys. You can flame them from behind as well, but it's killing them a lot quicker sometimes. This is Greta. You may know her from Scorch. She's had an upgrade and is now a ninja. And yeah, there's a lot of enemies in this level that don't spawn until you like enter the room that they're in, and so you have to like kind of go into the middle of the room and then kind of turn around to kill the enemies that just spawned around you. Happens a couple times. And then this chest. Oh, I missed it. No, there's one particular gem in that chest that falls all the way down to the bottom level, and ideally you want to catch it before it gets away from you and falls down. But like I said, we'll have to pick it up at the end. It's not a huge detour. It's something you want to avoid, but it's only a few seconds. There's a skip to get to the end of this area, like from the start, with a damage boost off a bomb. You don't want to do that in 117. It's a really bad idea because the enemies like don't spawn unless you come through the rooms the right way. And so if you try and go through this area backwards, you end up with the enemies just not appearing until you've like got to the end of the room, and then you have to turn around and clear out the room. Really silly. Yeah, it also has one of the best music tracks as well. I'm pretty sure Deo uses analog at Phoenix. I'm sure he can answer, but I'm pretty confident about that. So lost backtrack skip in the run because this next area he's going to go into is supposed to be done with Agent 9, which is unlocked in the next homeworld. See some furious mashing here.
Hey, Spyro.
Ah, okay. So you, it's possible to enter this area as Spyro and clear it out as Spyro, which is usually going to save a fair bit of time, just because the Agent 9 movement is. I mean, in theory, it's faster to do with Agent 9 if you're if you have task movement, but you don't. So, but unfortunately, the consistent way to do Agent Spyro, as we call it, involves unplugging your controller, and Bomber's playing on emulator, so I can't really do that. And so the alternative strat is to just mash start really hard and hope you get the right frame for a pause. And if you don't, you just have to do it as Agent 9 like normal. So what you will see a bit of though is the actual Agent 9 movement tech, which you would have seen later anyway, but it's cool to get more of it, which is zigzagging. You hold forward and hold one of the strafe buttons and then mash the other one, and you build up a ton of speed and can kind of release that and go forward really fast. It's hard to get, like in a 100 egg run, for example, where you're just kind of beelining to the end of this, you can really go ham with the zigzagging, but in 117 it's harder because you're having to collect all the gems in each room as well, so you can't really just like zoom through it, you have to stop and collect stuff. Which is why Agent Spyro is actually good in this category, but in 100 egg it's slower. Yeah, I don't think unplugging the keyboard would work. Thankfully, it would be really awful if this didn't exist, but thankfully there's the like gun power up that you can get at the start. It's like above the first room that you go into, which gives you a skill point and is also just a way better gun for using in this. So. If that didn't exist, this would be way worse.
Thanks for what.
I never thought about that. Yeah, it's not very stealthy to have your... Maybe it was for customs, they had to declare what was inside. Anyway, yeah, now we have Twin Dragons, which it's a pain. Like, sometimes it goes really well and you feel like a god, but all of the time it is really painful to hit these guys. Their movement is it's not like predictable, but they only have a set number of like patterns they can take, and so with experience you can kind of get used to how they move. But even so, they don't move in a straight line. They kind of go in wavy patterns, and it makes it really painful. That's a decent orange dragon for sure. Oh god, I remember playing Twin Dragons in SRT, and don't make me do that again. That was horrible. I'm sure people have got better at it over time, but man, trying to do that, having never done it before, was not my favorite exercise. That was actually a really solid dragons, yeah. That, no kind of big mess ups. Oh, nearly missed the power up there. That would have been annoying. This is like the only time where you can make use of fireball charging, which is like core technique in Spyro 2 Undo, but isn't really a possibility here unless you have a super flame, which you don't get very often. You can flame charge like metal vases and hit stuff from much further away with the fireball. Very short section there. And then just got to clean up a couple of things. There'll be that gem that was missed on the from the strong chest before that wouldn't normally have to get, but it's just around this corner. Yeah, there is a SRT3 117 run later in the marathon, right? So you can compare if you want to. Yeah, only one level left in Evening Lake, and that is Frozen Altars. Someone asked about hockey earlier. This is where the actual hockey in this game is. And boxing, and yeah, this is just like sports level.
Welcome.
Yeah. You got the one round. So the gimmick of this level is that your flame breath gets replaced with this ice breath, which freezes enemies and makes these like ice blocks. They don't die straight away when you do that. You have to actually charge through the ice block. Nice Mammoth proxy to get those gems early. That's always nice to get. Mammoth is one of the easier like dead body proxies to get, but it's not free and always a relief to get that. Haven't really talked about proxies because there haven't been very many, but they're used all over the place in Spyro 2 and 3. So I'm sure people kind of know vaguely what they are. You just kind of charge into a hitbox that you're not supposed to be able to like walk through. Charge into it and hit X at the right time, and the game like ejects you out of it, and the charge that you're in carries that momentum from the ejection, and you go flying. This jump is kind of rough. Yeah, second try's not bad. Otherwise, you just go and freeze the NPC and jump off that instead. And then this is a really easy way to get this egg. You can wall glide it as well. There's no reason to in this game because you can just like charge jump and just hold the buttons and you'll just jump off that thing. You can't stand on the bit that you charge jump off of, but you can like get a charge jump from it. So boxing, this is what do you even say about boxing? You just jab, right? Like you just press square and win. But it's random what the opponent does. Ideally, you want to do basically this and just jab in the right rhythm, and you'll kind of lock him in place. And if you can break through his guard, you do more damage, which is always nice. Yeah, 35 is pretty good for round one. And boxing 2 is the one that everyone's afraid of because you ideally want to kill him in one round, and if you don't, then you go to a second round and you get a bunch of health back, and so does he. And so it wastes a lot of time to not get the first round, but no one really gets it 100% consistently. You can obviously be better or worse at boxing, but even the best players miss one round sometimes. Baby, oh my god, less than a second left. Holy crap. That was so clutch. Oh, that was sick. So yeah, that's one round. That's how close it can get. Like, I've seen one round boxings with like 15 plus seconds left sometimes, and then other times you just don't even get like 3/4 of your health before the round goes. So it is a lot of variability in that. And now we have what I think will be our last moneybags payment of the run for cat hockey, which again you can skip into if you want, but the route just doesn't. It's not really any benefit to doing so.
Great. Freeze the cats and push them into my goal to score.
So yeah, freeze the cats and push them into my goal to score is what the NPC says, and that's all you have to do. The other guy is... I mean, if you're not careful, you can lose this. It's not completely free. And if you kind of lose track of the cats and kind of start hitting them off each other, it can be quite messy. But it's kind of done pretty quickly. You'll need to get 5 points.
Well,
Yeah, the NPCs in this level have fantastic voice acting. I'm not going to try and do it.
thanks for helping.
Yeah, just got some gem collecting left to do. There's a big area here full of mammoths that don't have gems for some reason. There's a handful of enemies in this game that just don't have gems. So if you're wondering why he's not killing all of these, that's why. This one does, just the ones at the bottom that don't. Accidentally missing one of those on the top arch is painful. You just like go down too quickly. Funny, I did this game in a marathon, like a in-person marathon here a few years ago, and we did the 2-player Bentley boxing afterwards as like a donation incentive. That was actually really fun. It's not a particularly well-designed like 2-player game, but it was cool as a gimmick.
That's it. I've had enough.
So yeah, final boss, third boss. There's still 2 more after this. I don't know why I said final. Third boss, Spike. This is just complete luck fest. There's not really anything you can do to like speed this up as long as you're like playing correctly. Obviously, if you miss a bunch of shots, you'll lose time. But the variance on this fight is enormous, depending both on which ammunition Bentley gives you, which has not been the good one so far. There's 2 different types of rockets. There's a red one and a green one. They both do the same amount of damage per hit. The green one gets you 1 shot, and the red one gives you 50. So you can guess which is the better one. As soon as you get a red rocket, you basically just sit here and stun lock him until he dies. And then it's just down to which attacks Scorch does, because some of them are faster than others. This like whatever you call this, it's like energy blast one is the fastest one, but then he also gives you like this, which is the slowest one, the little sunseed guy. Oh, I ran out of reds. Oh no. Still got it. Yeah. And yeah, Brick Tunes, what you said, Brinch Tunes, sorry, what you said about people, they like thinking people have missed gems, but they actually didn't. That's really common for people watching these runs. You're definitely not the only one who experiences that. So yeah, we've got our second to last Sparks level, Starfish Reef. This one's kind of different from the others. The way this is supposed to work is that you're supposed to have to kill all the enemies in each room to unlock the next one. But I'm assuming he's going to do the out of bounds route here. I shouldn't assume too much, but yeah, okay, it's good. Yeah, so you get out of bounds here, you just kind of strafe up this seam, and you go straight to the boss. And once you do that, the like all the doors open. Like you don't have to kill all the enemies anymore to get through when you're going backwards. So the out of bounds here saves a lot of time. Remember to go back and get these gems in this corridor. I have forgot these in a run before and lost like a lot of time to it. Yeah, we're basically just going through the whole rest of the level backwards. This is tricky. I don't know if I'd say this is the hardest one. I kind of find Spider Town harder, but it's definitely the one that took me the longest to get comfortable with. But yeah, if we were going through this forward, we would need to kill all of the enemies in each room, so hopefully you can get an idea of why this is a lot faster. Pick up this second rapid fire to use to clear out the rest of it. Pretty smooth. And then from doing that third Sparks level, we get a new ability, which is an extra hit on Sparks. We get like an extra bit of health. So now Sparks can take one more hit than normal. You can actually skip that ability, like that power up. You actually have to on 1.0 anyway. It doesn't automatically give it to you. You actually have to walk forward a bit for Zoe to talk to you. I don't know if that was just an oversight or what, but yeah, now we can go past gold to, I think people call it max health, where Sparks is like still gold but glowing more.
Spyro.
But Bianca's a good guy now. She's ditched her cloak and is officially on our side. So the route that we're going to do for midnight is a bit weird. All the rest of the world so far we've kind of cleared out everything except the Sparks level, then done the boss and the Sparks level, and then moved on. But that's because in all the previous home worlds, the requirement to get to the boss has been to complete all of the main levels in that home world. The Sorceress boss for midnight has a different requirement. You just need 100 eggs. But we already have more than 100 eggs just from having collected everything so far, so we can just go kill her now as the first thing we do. Which the reason might seem kind of random, but I'll explain why after this fight. But the Sorceress Fight itself is pretty complicated. In the past, this was known as just an RNG fest, and it was horrible to have at the end of the run, and huge amount of variance. It's still hard, but the strats were worked out in a lot of detail. Shout out to Jeremy Thompson for generally just being awesome at this game, but also like working out the sorceress fights specifically. You can kind of know exactly where the cannons are going to spawn based on where, like, what's up in, like, where the positions they're at up in the air, and then the tank spawns are consistent as well, and sorceress's movement is consistent if you know, like, which cannon you have, and yeah, it's very, it's hard, like, it's difficult to do correctly, and, like, learning it takes time, but it's not actually RNG, which is nice. I wasn't counting how many hits you got. Is that tank skip? Well, not tank skip, rather, a UFO skip. No, I wasn't counting the hits. But there's like 3 phases here, and you get a tank and a cannon, and then a tank, and then UFOs. The UFO is really slow, and so ideally you want to do the last phase with a tank, which is possible, but it requires either some luck or playing like perfectly. That was a good UFO phase though. So decent sork, and then don't leave before getting the egg. So now that we've done the Sorceress, we can do the final Sparks level. That's the requirement for unlocking the Sparks level, is to beat the boss in that homeworld. And that is important because the ability that you get for beating the final Sparks level is really good. You'll see it once we've done it, but that's why we want to do Bugbot as early as possible. Oh yeah, I didn't even think about it because I don't have game audio, but the music on 1.0 for the Sorceress is actually just the Sunrise Spring music. As far as I'm aware, the actual Sorceress music is on the disc. It just doesn't play correctly for some reason. It's not like some of the other tracks where they like weren't finished or whatever. This one just, it's an actual bug. I guess Sunrise is just track 1, so it just defaults to that. So Bugbot again, more out of bounds for the Sparks level. Unlike with Starfish, we don't just skip it all the way to the end immediately, but we can do some cool sequence breaks in here. The bugs with the keys are a pain if you don't kind of catch them immediately. They just run around and you have to chase them. But if you know where they are, then you can kind of shoot them before they aggro, or like that, just know where they're going to be and shoot as they're running towards you. But if you miss them, they can be quite annoying. And then another out of bounds here, which is always kind of sketch because these ladybirds are running into you. But this one gets us straight to the boss, and the boss only has a hurt box on its head, and so you can just kind of run into the back of it and just mow it down with rapid fire, and it just dies. Only its head hurts you. Just clear out the last couple of rooms and we'll be done. Oh, nearly left without that last gem. Yeah, so the reason we do Bugbot like straight away as early as we can is because you get two abilities for this. The first one is Atlas Warp, which you actually have from the beginning in Reignited, I think. So you can actually warp to levels just from the Atlas. But more importantly, we get the like, I don't even know what you call it, but the Sparks gets buff basically and gets the ability to break like gem containers by himself. And so as you run past vases and baskets and stuff, Sparks will just break them for you and the gems will home in, which is really good and improves the movement a lot. So you want that like right away if you can. Oh, I didn't quite get it. So you can do an egg death abuse there. If you like die while collecting an egg, you get the egg, but your spawn point, your checkpoint, doesn't update. Normally, if you die and if you've collected an egg in that level, you'll respawn at the last egg or the last checkpoint. I guess there are just random checkpoints throughout the level as well. But yeah, not updating the checkpoint there means you would respawn back over near Desert Ruins and save going back on the Whirlwind. And yeah, that was the moneybags. As I've mentioned before, we've only paid moneybags 3 times in this run, so it goes away very quickly. If you've done all of the moneybags payments that you're supposed to, you end up chasing them around for ages. This jump is cool. It's known as Crimson Chin, which is a great name. Nice. You can also get up there with a Scorpion proxy, but it's not really realistic in 1.17 because you need to kill the Scorpion for the gem anyway. So you have to do the tricky jump instead. So the Manta Ray from Aquaria Towers in Spyro 2 got an upgrade and now has like rocket launchers and can swim way faster. So we can use that to kill these guys and get a bunch of gems. That was a good start. These guys are consistent. Like they move in set cycles. Doing this consistently though is pretty tough. Also, the shots that you make are they do not go in straight lines. They like spiral through the water, and so even if you, that rocket, oh my god, I thought you'd got hit there. Yeah, if even if you like look like you're aiming straight at it, sometimes you'll just miss because the spiraling action of the shots. And they come out from pretty far in front of you, and so if you're like right up against a shark, you can sometimes miss it as well. So these like heated floors are controlled by the enemies there, and if you kill the enemy, the floor like heat effect goes away instantly. And so even if you're like right over the red bit, as long as you kill the enemy first before you touch the ground, you won't get hit. This hand has a very strange hitbox. From what I remember from Nitrov's explanation when he was making the tasks, is that it's like the actual hitbox of the hand, the actual way you can stand, is offset by about a Spyro width from where the hand looks like it is. And so it's very easy to accidentally not land on that. Is this the last time we're seeing Sheila? What else is there? I think it's the last time we see Sheila. We get our obligatory 2D platformer. Yeah, because I guess most games don't have things measured in actual like meters or something like. A nice little damage boost there to get up to that ledge a bit more quickly. Random fact, this egg that he's getting, you can't collect it if you don't kill the scorpion in front of it. It just doesn't collect. I didn't know that until I started speedrunning and tried to get it without killing the scorpion in a 100 egg run, because there's no reason to kill the scorpion, you don't need the gem. But you actually do need to kill the scorpion or the egg doesn't collect. Yeah, it's one of those obscure things that you just would never notice. Alright, yeah, monkey time. So we had some brief Agent 9 action earlier in Fireworks, but that was, you ain't seen nothing yet. This is where Agent 9 really, you have to get good. So doing Agent 9 movement in third person is a bit different from doing it in first person. You can't just hold forward and mash the strafe buttons, you have to kind of go diagonally. And then obviously going into first person view is slow, so you want to avoid that as much as you can. But yes, this is Agent 9 movement. Monkey go fast. Sometimes Monkey goes so fast that Sparks can't even keep up and you miss gems. If anyone has not seen the TAS of this category, I would recommend, I'd recommend the whole thing, but I'd especially recommend the Agent 9 sections. Like, just go and watch like this level in the TAS and then watch the rest of it, because it's really good.
You clear?
Not now, yeah, we're here for the marathon, right? Yeah, spin jump up there, skips climbing the stairs, and then we need to kill these birds.
Nice one. Now I can.
You can kill a lot of them when they're coming out of this, like, whatever this is, this hole. But they're consistent in where they go. Like they aim for the nests, and so you can kill them pretty quick. The bug bot ability with Sparks breaking stuff is so useful in this level. If you have to individually shoot all of the baskets, it would be more annoying. Although I was shooting most of them anyway, so maybe I'm just bad. Very easy to forget these balloons up here. There's a few of them. There's like 5 or 6 of them in the level. If you forget one, you cry because you end up having to go back for it at the end. It's very easy to like accidentally lose control of the zigzagging as well, and just like go off into the water or something here. It's you got to be careful with it. Yeah, you like it. You don't have a sideways speed cap, I think, is the explanation. So you can just build up sideways speed. We've got to be careful with the bombs here, because he needs one for strong chest that he's going to go for at the very end as well. Although, oh, never mind, he's just going to pick up more. That's probably a reasonable way to do it. Because he needed those gems anyway, so... So once we've cleared out these dudes and got the end of level egg, Bomber will be going for something called back to front, which is tricky and it saves a lot of time. There's like an alternate way of doing it that is much easier, but it's a lot slower as well. But he's basically just going to try and build up a bunch of speed with the zigzag and then launch himself off one of these little yeah, just launch himself over to the start of the level and see what he gets. Yeah, if he had more health, could have maybe made that, but not a very good launch. It's really hard as well because it's not easy to control this, and also you have to go back for more bombs each time because you need a bomb for the strong chest. And also you need to avoid going into the exit portal as well. There we go, that's a good one. Yeah, so just kind of go straight back so we can get this, which we couldn't get at the start because we didn't have bombs yet. So that second attempt was textbook. Yeah, there's an alternate strat where you can like damage boost with a bunch of bombs, but firstly you need to be at max health, and so you need fodder, and then you use all of the bombs, so you end up always having to go back for bombs as well. It's just really slow, but it's still faster than going back through the level normally, so it's worth knowing how to do. Crystal Islands has my favorite track in like the actual Crystal Islands track, not what we're listening to right now, is my favorite track in this game. So unfortunately 1.0 misses it. It's also just a really fun level. I like this one a lot. These the like tree guys who do the rainbow attack, that their attack disappears as soon as you hit them. So even though it's like still visible on the ground, you can't get hit by it if you've already flamed them.
Would you like to?
That head bash is cool. You can head bash on the gem platform even before it's visible. So the like invisible head bash. Also, another swim in air we'll see here. The water here is just like really close to the land. Like there's not very much height between the water level and the ground level, and so you can get pushed out of the water quite easily when you start a swim. It can be a little bit tricky, especially since the water is on a cycle. Like it moves up and down, so if you don't time it right, it can be more difficult. But now we can just do a whole bunch of stuff easily. There's like these high up areas in this level that take some time to get to without swim, but with swim you can just do everything. This thief, if you miss it on going for it like that, it's a pain to get. We have to super fly around and Try and flame. I haven't actually tried to do that in a long time, so I don't remember exactly how hard it is, but it's not great to miss that. And then we have Whack-A-Mole. This is cool. You can get a one cycle on this. There's a spot that you can go to that just spawns moles and moles and moles and none of the wizards, and so you can just get like, well, 19 I guess of the hits like very quickly, and then you just go around and get all the gems before getting the last one. This took me so long on SRT when I played it the first time. I don't know why. I don't remember what was so like bad about it, but it was like traumatic. So yeah, get 19 with loads of time to spare. As long as you have like 10 seconds, you've got plenty of time. Yeah, a lot more than that. Almost 10 seconds by the time you finished. So, nice one cycle. And then use the Superfly power up to clear up the rest. You're on a bit of a timer here because you need to clear up all this stuff, including the underwater things, before the Superfly runs out, because you want to get a gem that's like way up on a high platform before the Superfly runs out, but it's not too bad. There's more difficult routes that do more there, but...
Here.
And yeah, the end of level egg here triggers from a mile away, so you can get it from up on that platform or over by the portal or wherever. It'll just always trigger if you're anywhere even vaguely near it. Which is why the camera went all crazy there. It's a little bit tricky to get all the gems on this in one go down. Sparks will not pick all of them up. You need to actually aim through some of them. I don't know if that was a miss or not, actually. If that was me, I'd be concerned about that. Yeah, I did mess up. Unfortunately, I guess it wouldn't really matter because it was before where the skip would go, but the slide skips that you can do on this that you would see in like a 100 egg run don't work so well after you've already got the egg, because for some reason the slide goes faster once you've like completed it and got the egg, and so you end up just flying off if you try and do the slide skip. And then yeah, we finish on the key chest. Oh dang. Yeah, it's really weird how the slide works like that. Anyway, Haunted Tomb. There's a thing you can do here. Not quite. You can like land on the door and jump straight off it and get up to the top level. If you don't do that, you just wait until it comes back up, and not quite. There we go. And this is not the last time we're seeing Agent 9, there's still one more. It's the shortest Agent 9 section if it goes correctly.
Behind.
Because we don't have to collect any gems here, we just have to get that egg at the end. And the walls here are kind of sloped, so if you can get enough speed, you can just pop up them. Oh, not quite. That would have been very optimal if you'd got that. But there we go, the nice and quick one. And then there's a convenient invisible wall along the outside to stop you from falling off. And you can just go straight to the end. Skip everything.
I see you.
Got to remember not to just mash for these guys, because they ask you a question and you have to actually pick the right answer, or they won't give you the egg. And the answer is never the default option. There's 3 of them, and it's a different choice for all of them, and none of them are the default. So the strats with these dudes are interesting. You have to. Oh, how did that not hit? I didn't know then. You want to kind of wait for them to throw a rock, pick up the rock, and then wait for them to throw another rock and kill them immediately afterwards, so that you can recycle the rock you got and carry it into the next area. Saves a lot of time waiting on either the enemy or just a random rock drop in one of these rooms. Because both the sarcophagus and the big rock dudes only die to those rocks.
The first.
That's the hardest riddle, because you have to hit up or down twice. It's the third option. Yeah, so this is tanks. This is, it's tough to get good at this. It takes a while. But the strat is basically, especially with the second tanks, where you got the guys out on the outer parts of the area, you can kind of aggro them so that they start moving and shoot on either side of the pot that they're hiding behind, and so you hit them as they come out. It's random whether they go left or right, so you just kind of pick a side, hope they go that way, and if they don't, you can still easily hit them when they come out the other side. Taking some damage here. You want to kill the guys that you can before they aggro at all, because they just stand still. Yeah, got the good RNG with that guy. Yeah, getting the spacing right so that they don't kill you with those lob shots is important. No, I think I don't think there's any crazy speed up for the TAS in tanks. It's just good aim, if I remember right. It's been a while since I watched it. I love that you can flame charge the sarcophagus with a rock. It's such a minor thing, but it's really cool that it works. Oh, I hate that. So you try and shoot a rock at that particular sarcophagus, and it just goes way up and hits a basket up on the top level instead. That happens pretty consistently, and it's really annoying. You have to wait for another rock. Cheeky skill point to get his sparks back. There is a bottle up on this level as well, but there's quite a few gems to collect on the way, so you want the sparks as early as you can. Was that a random life from the fodder as well? Did I see that correctly? Oh yeah, and that sarcophagus didn't break either because the rock hit the mummy instead. Classic. So we are certainly nearing, we're in the third to last level now, Dino Mines. This is, if it wasn't for the really long auto-scroller in this level would be very short. The actual like main area here is not big at all. And then the other minigame is short too. But there is a kind of shooting thing that is pretty long. This level also has some weird enemies. These dinos stick around, like their hitboxes stick around for a long time after they die, and so it's easy to bonk on them after you've killed them. And then for some reason the cactuses count as enemies with gems, even though they don't move or attack you or do anything. I think they're the only things in the game like that. And they also take forever to like explode and give you the gem, so there's a lot of like flame the cactus, go off and do something else, and then run back through and pick up its gem. Yeah, so yeah, the dino hitboxes stick around for a while. I want to avoid the shots from them as well, the like explosives and the the machine guns are pretty easy to get hit by. And then this water section is kind of tough to optimize as well, because there's a lot of like going up and down. The gems are all at the bottom, but the enemies are quite a bit above the bottom. So you need to... your 3D movement needs to be on point. And Spark's waters sometimes ignore vases underwater as well. Yeah, clean this out, get the end of level egg. Oh, no, that was just me. I thought my stream had frozen, but it was, it came back straight away. Actually, give me a second, I'm just going to refresh something quickly. Okay. Yeah. A simple section anyway. This is just this is Bailey Gang. You just shoot the guys as they come up. It's just you're not controlling the movement here. It just auto. It's like an on-rails shooter. You do want to kill the last enemy of each wave as quickly as you can, because it does make the next wave come out more quickly. And particularly the blue guys do hit you pretty quickly. Like they throw their TNT at you like straight away after they spawn, so it's very useful to know where they're going to be and shoot them straight away. Oh yeah, it's really funny. Like this seems like such a bad thing for a TAS or a speedrun, but the TAS actually makes this pretty entertaining. The tricks with the aiming cursor. But yeah, this is just like know where stuff's going to come from and don't miss, basically. The dinos have pretty big hitboxes on their bodies, so it's not too bad. Also try and break all the baskets that you can as well, because you're going to have to go through this with actual Agent 9 later on to clear everything up, and you want everything pre-broken if you can. For some reason, killing the skill point dino is actually slower. Don't ask. Yeah, now we get our last little bit of Agent 9 movement to clear everything up. Gotta be very careful not to go straight off the edge. Very easy to lose control. That is it for Agent 9. Bye, Agent 9. You'll be missed. Just one last kind of challenge here, the water tunnel. And my connection to the stream is not great right now. I don't think that's a problem on the stream itself, it's just me. But yeah, this water tunnel, even though it's like 3-dimensional this time, is considerably easier than the one in Seashell. I am sorry for saying anything. But yeah, you just kind of avoid all the TNTs and the stuff. You don't need to actually hit anything in this, even the guy at the very end. You just need to like reach the end. Yeah. Oh, interestingly, Atlas warped out of that level. I assumed that because Atlas warping back to Midnight Mountain on console at least is always faster than just exiting out normally. But he hasn't been doing that from the other levels, so I assumed it just wasn't faster on emulator. But he did that time, so probably just because he was ending on a side area anyway, that makes it faster. That's what I would assume. Because Atlas warping, you don't need to like exit the side area then exit the level. Anyway, the final Speedway. This one, yeah, this one's good. So I like Harbour, and this is the correct music for Harbour Speedway as well. Finally. The race and the time trial here are fun, but it's always scary because you're so near the end of the run. So if you're on good pace, you're just like clenching, because failing something here would lose a ton of time. There's something I never mentioned mentioned before, but flying lower down actually makes you go faster in the speedways. It's not that big of a deal in this game because you're usually either like going through like you're either going where you are because you want to go through like a blue ring to get speed up, or you're supercharging or whatever. So usually if you're high up, it's because you have to be. But it's just something to note is that flying lower down does make you go faster. That's way more relevant in like Spyro 1, where that's the only way to go faster in the flights. Oh no! Oh, that's heartbreaking. Yeah, so that's what can happen in speedways. Especially the speedway races. They're just so long, and like you make one mistake and you just lose so much time. I'm sorry. I don't mean to. That's the risk you take when you get someone else to do commentary for you. Also, shout outs to these birds that are officially called blue-footed boobies. Yeah, they just look like seagulls to me, but that's what the game calls them. What determines which way you rotate when touching star boosts? That is a great question. I have no idea. I didn't even know it varied, does it? The last three I've looked at have been anti-clockwise. So was that one. Oh no, that was the other way. Okay, yeah, it is different. Interesting. I'd never even thought of that. Alright, so the time trial here is really fun. It's kind of tough to do properly, but because there's a bunch of like trying to get everything on this boat here in one go is kind of tight. But it's a really cool route. Very different from the intended route, I guess. Also, for some reason, the way Supercharge controls is slightly different between Spyro 3 and 2. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. It just, to me, it feels a bit more sluggish on 3. Like, there's more delay between pressing the directional button and actually turning. But I've heard other people disagree with that, so it definitely feels different. But it seems to be preference which one you like more. So the Last Hunter challenge is yet another place where it's possible to lose a lot of time on the 1.0 version specifically, because there's a glitch where you can just not finish it and have to do a second lap around. You can, apparently, what I've been told, and what seems to have worked for me, is you can avoid it by going a little bit slow at the end of the lap. And yeah, I mean, since I started doing that, I've never had the glitch, so anecdotally that works, but if you get the thing, then one of the rings at the end just doesn't spawn, and you don't get the lap. Like the lap doesn't count. I've watched someone get that happen twice in one challenge as well, so they had to do 3 laps. That was not right. But yeah, we just get to stare at Hunter's ass for a while. Enjoy. Alright, no problem, it's all good. And so that is essentially everything. He's got 100% now. At least if he got all the gems in the home mod, I think he did. He's got 100% now. And so he just has to clear out the bonus level, super bonus round, for that extra 5,000 gems and an egg. Yeah, that race was rough. Yeah, so we got 15,000 and 149, so just this to do. The start of super bonus round is tough. Like, it's on a cycle for the UFOs, and you really don't want to miss it. So we'll see. I'm not sure what cycle Roma goes for, or we'll see. But whatever you're going for, you want to make sure you actually get.
You're more than welcome to keep
Nice thief. Missed the flame and then got a charge without bonking. That was good. So yeah, these thieves are kind of, you can manipulate them. They give you tons of gems. Easy. And then a little skip here to get to the power up more quickly. Normally you're supposed to do the UFOs last. Like you do the subs and the Yeti race, and then you have enough gems for the... Yeah, nice, got that. And you have enough gems to unlock the UFO. But we can do it first, and that way we kind of do it along with the thieves at the start. And oh, what was that? That auto aim, that was awful. Oh man, that's a shame. Let's see what the backup is though. Oh no, okay. Yeah, this it's like when you, as soon as you like lose track of everything in the UFOs, it's like really hard to know where stuff's gonna be. Although that actually worked out really well. That's way better a backup than I would have expected. So GG.
Hi, Spyro. Great. Hop aboard.
Yeah, the auto aim is really strong, but it just doesn't work sometimes. It just, especially if it's like the thing you're aiming at is far away. So yeah, these subs are, I would say they're a fair bit easier than the ones in Lost Fleet to get no scopes on, because you can kind of follow them around these pillars and their movement is fairly consistent if you do that. Yeah, like you can get right up close to them like that. Nice. All right, and now we have the Yeti race. This is always a like, I don't know. It's a nervous moment for me anyway. Like when I get to this point in runs, because what you go for is I mean, sometimes some people will go for like just getting most of the gems and then clean up some of them afterwards. So you can also go for a one cycle where you get everything during the race. It's tough though, like the Yeti's, like just winning the race if you don't have any of the lap skips is actually pretty hard. Thankfully we do have lap skips, but because we're like collecting a lot of the gems as well, or all of the gems, it still ends up being pretty tight to actually win the race. So generally if you like make a big mistake, you'll just abandon the one cycle and just make sure you actually win the race, because having to go back for a couple gems is way quicker than having to do the whole race again. Yeah, it is hard, Zando. Like it's not free. Yeah, getting all of the gems in this section is pretty tough. You need to avoid this blue star, because otherwise you'll just boost right past everything. I think we're good though. I haven't noticed anything missed. I don't actually know the gem count there, so... If that was everything, then GG. It was. Good stuff. Yeah. One cycle Yeti race is not easy. Oh no, my stream's frozen just as the Stalk 2 fight's about to start. No. Oh, there it is. Okay, I came back. Alright, so... Sorceress 2 fight. Let's see if we get a... No, okay, no proxy. You can, like, proxy off the UFO and just kill her, like, immediately, but that's really hard and inconsistent. So this fight, it's what it looks like. You just fly around and shoot her. It's pretty... It's kind of takes some practice to get good at. I'm getting good at the shots. And we are done. That's time, by the way. I assume someone was watching it. Good stuff. Yeah, 3:15:44 is what it shows on the timer on stream. I think Bomber had an actual timer running as well anyway, so... But yeah, that's a really respectable time. What's your PB? Like 3:13? So yeah, only 2 minutes off PB is really good for a marathon run. Very, very well done.
All right, that was a great job, Bomber. Dact, you did great with the commentary, as always.
Thanks
do you
for
have
having me.
any special shoutouts either of you want to give?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just say go follow Bombercash. He runs completion categories a lot, so if you like those, go follow him. I was going to say follow me, but I haven't streamed in like 9 months, so maybe not. But yeah, keep watching the marathon. I don't know what's the thing that's up next. Neo Vortex? What even is that?
Yeah, up next is Neo Vortex for SRT 1. I'm sure Groxu will explain it when the run actually happens, but it's effectively a way to make Vortex work for SRT, considering Spyro Reignited does not have a all levels cheat.
Oh, true. Yeah, okay.
I haven't actually seen a run of it yet, so I'm very excited to watch it. I hope everybody sticks around for it. That'll be up next. Thank you again, Bomber and Dact. And yeah, everybody stick around.
Gamers? My name is Mike,
Yeah, thanks a lot.
and
See you later.
you are watching Spyrothon.